Shalom, Israel. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone. And peace and salutations and peace and mercy to the prophets, the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and to the men and women of the 12 lost tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Shalom. Back with another lesson. I'll title this one, How It's Written Down. How it's written down. Call halal Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. Call halal Yamla Alahayanawa Abanawa Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWAHSHI. And something that's on my spirit. This will be straight to the point. And as the title reads, how it's written down, how it is written down. And the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, like I tell you in Revelation, and Revelations means to be revealed. But the Spirit of the Lord, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is the spirit of prophecy. Prophecy. And, the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. Matter of fact, let me go here, because this will be straight to the point. And, to you Israelites, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you better get your mind out of this place, the U.S. Get your mind out of this place. Because the Lord is telling you. The Lord has set up the men, the teachers, a particular, not all his men out of his people, but certain men, the teachers, the prophets, to speak his word. Matter of fact, let me go here. Let me go here. Jeremiah 35. Jeremiah 35 and 15. And it reads, it says, I have sent also unto you all my servants, the prophets. See? The Lord telling you, I've sent to you all my servants, the prophets, still to this day. He didn't send to you Jeremiah. He didn't send to you Isaiah, Hosea, Zechariah. The list goes on, man. The list goes on. Still to this day, the Lord is sending his prophets out. It says, rising up early and sending them, saying, return. Return ye now every man from his evil way. And if you're not rehearsing the Lord's righteous acts, these law, statutes, and commandments, because we can't keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly right now. It's humanly impossible. Because what does that tell you in Romans chapter 1, that the just shall live by faith? We're going to be saved by our faith, man. Do you believe? Anya ma'amayan. Anya ma'amayan. I believe your faith. You're not going to be saved by the law. Because the Lord understands that, man. It's humanly impossible for us to keep this, the law perfectly. He understands that. But we are to do the best we can in rehearsing the righteous acts. But, this is why this is a grace period, to get your spirit right and move closer to the Lord, because it's destruction coming. It says, return ye now every man from his evil way. If you're not rehearsing these law, statutes, and commandments, you're in darkness. You're in trouble. The Lord coming for you. It says, and amend your doings. And amend your doings, and go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given to you and to your fathers. Jerusalem, Israel. It's a people before a place. And that's where the kingdom is going to be at, right here on earth, right there in Jerusalem. And Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he's going to be present. You're going to see him in the kingdom, right along with King David and the 12 disciples and the 144,000, the coming government that's never going to be overthrown, ever. Is going to rule for eternity in righteousness. This is what's coming. It's never this is the final war that's coming. This is the final war that's coming. We have World War One, World War Two. We're approaching World War Three, which is going to be over there in the so-called Middle East. We know Iran, the Israelis are going to attack Iran, and Russia is going to be an aid to Iran because they're joined unto Russia, and the U.S. is going to be pulled into this because they're joined unto the Israelis. And NATO and the rest of the BRICS, it's going to be a head-on collision. But we know before that World War III happens, and ultimately the missiles hitting this place, the U.S., that RFID, that micro-CHIP is coming. It says, and go not after other gods to serve them, and ye shall dwell in the land which I have given to you and your fathers, but ye have not inclined your ear. You have not inclined your ear, nor hearkened unto me. See, and the Lord telling you, I've sent to you all my prophets still unto this day, and you still not listening. You're not listening. And what our people say, matter of fact, let me go here. Because, your Sunday preachers, and they're not prophesying, they're not telling the people the truth. See, Jeremiah and these Sunday Christian churches and Catholic churches, they're speaking about peace and prosperity. They're lying to the people. Jeremiah 28:7. Jeremiah 28:7. It says, nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. See, it says 8. It says the prophets have been before me, that have been before me, and before thee, and of old prophesied both against many countries. See, the prophets it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee and of old prophesied both against many countries, against kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And this is the time that we're in. And starting with the apostles on down here at Great Millstone, the Church of Berea, where the 144% truth is dwelling out of the whole earth according to this gospel. This is where the real truth is dwelling. This is what we've been speaking of, all the pestilence, the war, the famine, everything that's taking place. And we see it unfolding. We see it unfolding. We are in the time of war. Civil unrest, civil war, World War III. We already had World War I, World War II. We're on the brink of World War III, the final war, the war of Armageddon, the greatest war of all times. This is the last war. There ain't going to be no more war after this. See? But what our people say, let me go here. What our people say. They don't believe it. What our people say. Psalm 74. This is what our people say. And then, the people in the world, the other nations. Psalm 74 and Psalm 74 and 9. It says, we see not our signs. See? This is what they say. You know, we don't see. You know, you guys been saying that for so long. You know, of all the wars and you know, people dying and you know, all these diseases. But it says, "We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet." See, there's no more prophets. A good majority of our people tell you that too, especially in that Christian church. They tell you there's no more prophets. There's no more. It says, "We see not our signs. There is no more any prophets. Neither is there among us any that knoweth how long." That don't have the vision, but it tell you in Ezekiel, the 12th chapter, that the Lord is going to make that proverb cease from His people. The vain vision. You know, the Lord's not prolonging His word anymore. The Lord is speeding up the time. It's time to get this thing cracking, crack-a-lacking. You know, it's time to get this thing going, and we see all of this is ramping up, and now we see that Donald Trump bringing in the National Guard, and our people still, oh well, that's not the first time. Oh, it ain't. This thing is about to pick up. It's about the insurrections, the rebellion, the sedition amongst all of this is going to ramp up, and it's going to spread throughout America. We see it already starting. It's didn't happen out there with the race, tension out there in the South and Midwest, and here it is on the West Coast right now in L.A. We see a major insurrection that's happening. See, but our people they say there's no more any prophets. They're just speaking hate speech. They don't know what's going on. And then you got these Sunday pastors and preachers, selling you a dream. And the evidence is overwhelming right now. It says 10. It says, "O Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, how long shall the adversary reapproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever?" How long? Because they're calling on Jesus the Christ. They're calling on Yeshua. They're calling on Yahweh. They're calling on Buddha and Allah. They're calling on all these other names. It says, "How long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever?" How long is this going? It ain't gonna keep going on too much longer. See, because the names are here. The Lord ain't left just took away His name. His true name is still in the earth. YAHAWAH, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWEHSHI, the Son and the Father. See, let me go here. I'll close out with this. What is that, Ezekiel? Because judgment is coming. Judgment. Let me go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 7. Yeah, let me go here. It says Ezekiel 7. I'm just in the spirit right now, flowing. Ezekiel 7 and 5, and it reads, I'll close out with these last few. It says, Ezekiel 7 and 5, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come." Evil is come. A lot of our people keep voting and keep trying to lean on man. The Lord is putting an end to that. He's putting the end to that. It's evil coming, and this evil and destruction is coming for 2/3 of our people and on down to the other nations for what they have done to the Lord's people. Because all these nations have played hand in hand, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white folks. They've played joined hand in hand, and trying to destroy the Lord's people and blaspheming His name. It says 6, and an end is come. The end is come. It says, it watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come, the end. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The earth is going to abide here forever. But it's this system, Esau system, this wicked, demonic, paganistic, homosexual system that's about to be thrown out of here. It says 8, it says, now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee and accomplish. See, the Lord says He's going to accomplish mine anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense for thee for all thine abomination. See, so the Lord's going to judge everybody according to their ways. And the Lord tell you too, those that are wicked, you're going to perish. You're going to perish in your own corruption. Shalom.